Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. This is what Masterpiece does and Legends don't. So Masterpiece does what Legends don't, kind of like the Genesis song.
It's free. What Nintendo don't.
Yeah, Nintendo don't. Looking at this from a G1 standpoint, I'm looking at this for kind of where we're going with the Magic Square, the New Age, the McFan's toys. I'm not factoring in the Iron Factory. Some of these were made by Iron Factory, but I don't think they 100% fit in the Legends scale they don't match the other companies, so I'm not factoring in the Iron Factory ones. But if I missed it and New Age, McFan's Toys, Unique Toys, Magic Square, any of them made it in more of a G1S design, then please let me know in the comments below. But let's just have a little bit of fun and see what Masterpiece does and Legends don't. Coming up! So the first one is Warpath. There's actually a slew of Warpath options, or at least 3, in the Masterpiece scale. But there's really nothing for Legends unless you're looking at the MPH, which is too small, or you just whip out a G1. So I don't know, or you go with whatever Hasbro has made in the past. But I'm looking at third party and looking at kind of what you would put on your third party shelf, and Masterpiece has options. And I would say Fans Toys is still the best option out of these, but any of these would be fine. But I'm still kind of surprised that we haven't seen Magic Square or New Age do a Warpath. Now, obviously, on this list, if I'm wrong and they did make one, let me know in the comments below. It'll help everybody out and be great, fun discussion. But it's all about learning and knowing more about this hobby that we collect. But as it stands, I don't know of a Warpath even announced. So right on the heels of getting this Contact Shot reissued, I do want to point out that Legends has a lot of Headmasters done. They've done quite a few Headmasters, but Targetmasters, not so much. And I'd be kind of interested in seeing how they tackle Targetmasters, but I see how they've targeted Headmasters. I think they did fine with those. I think they'll do fine with this. But when you look at it, there's a lot of Targetmasters out there that haven't been touched, and at least Masterpiece has this one going for it. And I do want to say Make Toys was ahead of their time. They were shooting for the clouds, shooting for the stars, and they kind of missed. Not that they did a bad job with this figure, but it was missed in timing. And I believe that's the same thing going on with Legends right now. But as it stands, Masterpiece is winning right now. Winning! Next up, we have Omnibots. We have Omnibots that are doing their thing, and no Legends Omnibots yet. Now, they're still trying to dial out all of the Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, all those kind of stuff. But I'm really impressed with what's gone on in Legends, but they're not mature enough in the character selection yet, or deep enough into it to get into something like this. So it's something that Masterpiece collectors are getting to enjoy, getting into these Omnibots, and of course that can roll right into the next one. Punch, Counter Punch. Now, we don't technically have this yet, but it's coming very soon, coming in about a month, so I'm looking forward to it, and it's one that we can look forward to. Not even announced anything like this in the Legends scale, and I wouldn't expect it to be just yet, but this video is all about what Masterpiece does that Legends don't. So, yeah, we're going to get into that. Okay, so next up we have Skylynx. Now, there is an MMC Skylynx, and I want to say that a lot of people want to more or less say it's not big enough. But I don't think I'd want it any bigger than it is, and I keep passing on it. It was sold in 2 parts for like $130 a piece, so it was like $260. And that's kind of about what the price was for the second run. I think I would want to go with the first edition one with a little bit more vibrant colors. I think that's the one that I would probably go for. But either way, the first go around I passed on it for being so expensive. Second one was colors. But it still looks great. It still looks amazing. And even though they usually go a little bit stylized, it looks G1 enough for me that I really don't think any other company needs to bother tackling it, as long as MC can keep reissuing it and making it available. Hopefully the first run colors come the next go around, but it's generally every 2 years that they reissue this thing, and I look forward to it. I will probably get it this next go around. I thought I was going to be happy with the Commander class, but if you're looking for a Legends one, I would actually suggest this one here, the Combiner Wars version, because of the fact that it is smaller than the Commander class one and would probably fit and scale well with your Legends. But then again, scale is kind of, with this one, way out of scale or out of sync and way off the chart. So he could be way, way bigger. You could use the Masterpiece one in Legends, technically, because he's such a big character. Now this one might have some pushback, but it doesn't really matter. It's my list. So Alpha Trion, this is like toys. It is 3D printed. They are talking about down the road doing full-on production runs of these eventually with a mold and plastic and stuff, but not just 3D printed. But it looks phenomenal, and from what I see, it's almost impossible to tell it's 3D printed. They did such a good job with this figure. It looks amazing. And as you can see, because there is right next to a Prime and a Megatron, the MV10, MV36, that it is Masterpiece scaled, and it's something that we don't really have in the Legends. Now, Impossible Toys made one that I have as a stand-in, and it was pretty cheap, easy to get, but I don't know that we've seen a Legends one, a proper Legends one, like a New Age, McFan's Toys, any of them. I think maybe Iron Factory did it, but that's not going to work for me. So with that, I'm actually not factoring Iron Factory in any of this stuff because they are so stylized. They don't really match my shelf. So anyhow, here we go. We've got an Alpha Trion. So kind of in the same vein here, we are seeing some really good stuff from X-Transbots with the Quintessons, and there's Dr. Egg. He's big. He's maybe even too big, but he exists, and there's no doubt he's in Masterpiece scale, and he's pretty awesome. If you can get the electronics to work just right, it is an amazing feature, and it looks phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. But anyhow, this is Dr. Egg, and I do not know of one in Legends scale, even the Impossible Toys one, or there's one that's floating around out there that's real small. It's still not big enough for Legends. Oddly enough, it's too small for Legends. I'm shocked. That seems like some low-hanging fruit, some easy candy to get right there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's any option out there that will work for Legends right now, but we have them for the Masterpiece. And then we get into like La Pulpe and La Pulpus and all those, and those are really cool too. So we don't have that. Now, again, Impossible Toys did them. I don't know if you would say they scale for Legends, because I think they were really intending, Impossible Toys was trying to make all their stuff to match what Hasbro was doing, so it's mainline scale, not Legends scale. But still, I think this is a big opportunity for Legends and Legends collectors that is untapped, and mark my words, this stuff's eventually going to come. And the next one is Junkyons. Now, I know there's people with one hand on the keyboard getting excited here, wanting to type something like, we did get the McFan's Toys version. The McFan's Toys version of Wreck-Gar is cool, but that's where it stops. That's where it ends. And you can see there's not even a Wreck-Gar in this picture. This is Junkyons that are not just Wreck-Gar. And so that's kind of another problem I'm seeing with Hasbro too, is they haven't gone past, was it Junkyard and Wreck-Gar, and they could do more. Now they're doing a lot of offshoot, weird looking figures that are calling them Junkyons, instead of just dialing out a whole slew of Junkyons the way KFC's doing it. And I thought they were going to go that route, but they kind of stopped that, and I thought that was really cool they were going that route. I don't think the Junkyard one sold very well. Is that the one? That's what it's called. But still, that's probably why. But I would have figured they would have had a couple more in the pipeline, a couple more planned out. And did they scrap those plans? But still, that's not Legends, and Legends only has the one. Unless you want to get a bunch of Wreck-Gars and just have them ride himself. It would be nice to have a different one, at least one to be in the alt mode, or have a couple of them to make a scene. But that one sold well, so I don't know why McFan's Toys doesn't just continue and do it like KFC. Now, this one's tricky because Masterpiece, there are some for Masterpiece, but it's switched scales, and then you could almost argue, no, they were really making those for mainline, but they're third-party companies that make Masterpiece figures that made these combiners. Anyway, this is Unique Toys Poseidon, and so this one looks really cool. I feel it's a little small. It's around the 15-inch scale, I believe, but we got a lot of options for combiners. We just don't have a lot of options for combiners in Masterpiece that are the 21-inch scale. But could you work this into your Legends? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that Legends scales generally around the 9 or 10-inch size for these combiners. It's kind of where they've been hitting lately, and how I know that because my shelf is 9 inches, so if they're much taller than that, I gotta put them in some dynamic pose. But anyhow, there's more of these. You got the Defensors, you've got this is Make Toys, and then you also have some, there's a Computron that's in this scale, and a few others, but we've pretty much dialed out pretty much all of the combiners, but now they're all getting remade by different companies in larger scales for Masterpiece, and that's fun. But really nothing on the horizon for the two I've just talked about, technically three, that I've talked about for the Legends scale. It'd be nice though. Next up, there's not much for Autobot cassettes in the Legends scale. I think this is it. I really think this is it for Autobot cassettes. What we got from, is this the Magic Square offerings? We just got a recolor of one cassette. Am I missing something? Because I just literally cannot find. I don't have them on my shelf. I don't own them. I can't find Autobot cassettes. I can find a lot of Decepticon cassettes, but no Autobot cassettes. Is that something I'm missing when it comes to Legends? But we have a slew of them, and now we're like living in the heyday of all this competition for Autobot cassettes, and more coming with MMC, X-Transbots, what KFC's already done. But I mean, you look at a KFC themselves, and they've gone off the deep end with all kinds of crazy ones, Autobot and Decepticon cassettes, and so it's a whole lot of fun on what you can get. And then people could stop and argue, and then could say, well, technically they're not Masterpiece scale because they're G1 scale, and then a lot of stuff that's G1 fits in Legends. But Magic Square, New Age, McFan's Toys, none of them are making any real Autobot cassettes, and they're not going very deep on cassettes. And I don't know why, because that's a lot of low-hanging fruit and a lot of high profit margin figures, in my opinion. Now this kind of goes against everything that I've been saying, but I'm going to say it anyways. Star Saber. I don't know of a Legends Star Saber. I've looked. I don't have one. I've looked around just to see if it exists. I don't see one that exists. I might be missing it. Maybe Iron Factory made it, but I'm not counting Iron Factory in all of this, so I didn't look up anything Iron Factory for this because it's not really G1. But this technically is not the US G1, but Star Saber is such a popular character. It's really been gaining momentum lately. We even had a HasLab on it and all that, but no one biting when it comes to Legends scale, so I'm kind of curious about that, and I'm kind of wondering, did I miss it, or am I right on this? But I like this Iron Trans version. There's several versions that are out there, but my favorite is Iron Trans. I've got that one, and then Takara made their official one, which looks very cartoon accurate, but with it, since I have no real tie to it, no nostalgia to it, I just picked the one I think looks most visually interesting. I think it's Iron Trans. So anyway, I'm curious what you guys think of this. If you collect Masterpiece, do you kind of feel like we do have a bit of an advantage over Legends collectors currently? Now that advantage is going to be gone in a few years. Probably have made every single thing on this list in 3 years. But we will see if that's true. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Tiberium Hanger out.
Yeah.